Hey guys, I'm back and I wanted to check out the new custom ROM for the Nexus 4 called Illusion. Now, Illusion is based on Slim Beam, which means it's very fast. It also has a ton of customizations. For example, it's got customizations from Paranoid Android, AOKP, Team Baked, CyanogenMod, and more. Now, right now it is in beta, so you can see right here I'm running the beta version, and it doesn't have all the customizations they want to include just yet, but nonetheless, it's still worth a look. So let's do that. So here we go, and the first thing I want to show you is this pretty cool keyline pie theme that comes inbuilt with this ROM. You can see it right here. Obviously you can have the other theme as well, the normal stock theme, but I kind of like this theme. You can see as I go into the settings here, the background is slightly different. It looks a little bit more transparent, a little bit more see-through, and it does kind of look polished. You can see the buttons over here, the toggles are also slightly different as well. Like I said, if you go into themes, you can also have the normal system theme, but you can see the keyline pie theme here is pretty awesome, and it goes through the whole UI as well. So if you go into your phone, you can see it's in the background there as well, nice and shiny. And if you go into your messages as well, it's in there. So pretty awesome. I like that touch. I just wanted to mention before I get into the customization of this ROM, it does have PA's Halo. If I pull down the notification shade, you can see Halo right there, and it works in exactly the same way as PA's. You can move it around, you get all your notifications, and you can switch between them if you have them, which I don't right now. Right now, this ROM doesn't have PA's hybrid settings, but it is planned to. It is set to have it in one of the next releases, so that'll be pretty awesome because you'll have all the different PA colors and per app DPIs. So keep an eye out for that, but that is coming. So let's move on to the customization here, and there is a ton to talk about on this ROM, so I'm just going to go through the settings and check out what's different. So underneath Illusion System Settings, you've got Dark UI. That's pretty obvious what it does. If you turn it on, it just makes the whole UI a little bit darker. You've got Themes here, Interface, which we'll check out in a minute. Underneath that, we've got Profiles. Profiles is pretty awesome, actually, because you can have default, home, night, silent, work, or add your own ones. But if you actually go into them, there are a lot of different options you can mess around with. You can change your connection. So for example, if you want to disable or enable Wi-Fi, GPS, data sync on certain profiles, you can do that. If you scroll down, you've got your volume override, so you can have certain volumes for certain profiles. Like obviously silent, you'll have all the volumes set to 0 and stuff like that. You've also got your ring mode, airplane mode as well on system settings, and right at the bottom you've got application group. So for example, if you click into Gmail, you can mess around with the notification mode. So if you're on silent, you can turn the notifications off completely. The tone, you can have different ringtones, vibrate modes, and also different light modes as well. So that's pretty cool. So a lot of customization in the profiles right there. We'll move on. Underneath that, we've got a performance tab, which lets you control your CPU, your memory management, your IO schedulers, all that sort of stuff. Scroll down a bit more. Everything else here is pretty standard, except in personal you've got quiet hours, which again is one of my favorite features. So for example, you can set to turn it on at 11 PM and then you can mute all your notifications so they won't disturb you when you're asleep. Pretty damn cool. You've also got super user built in, so you don't need a separate app for that. And if you go into developer options, you have some extra developer options that we don't normally see. For example, advanced reboot, media scanner behavior on boot, and stuff like that. So quite a lot of customization here. And yeah, let's move on to interface. So once we dive into the interface tab right here, this is where all the main customizations are for this ROM. You've got general right here, you've got status bar notification drawer, you've got clock, lock screen widgets, navigation, hardware, and keyboard. And I really like the way this is laid out. I don't know, it just looks a little bit more clean than the other ROMs and just looks a lot more simple as well. There's a little description of what's in each section, which I kind of like. So let's dive into display and check out what we've got in here. You can mess around with your CRT screen off animations. You can also change the way it does it. So if you don't want it to do it horizontally, you can make it do it vertically, which is pretty cool. Brightness, you've got some different brightness. If you turn on automatic, you can actually adjust the way it does its automatic brightness, which is quite a big win in my book because the normal automatic brightness kind of sucks. It's never bright enough or dark enough where I want it. So you can actually mess around with that. So that's nice to see right there. Underneath that, you've got a battery light option, you've got pulse notification light options, rotation options, volume rock awake, and wake up on charge, which you can tick or untick. So that's the display area. Moving on to the sound options in here, you've got all your standard stuff that you'd expect, like ringtones. You've also got a lot of other cool options. For example, you can turn off the camera shutter sound if you don't want it, less frequent notification sounds, lock your volume keys, media control, which allows you to control your media volume rather than your notification volume. So I know a lot of people that will find that option quite interesting. You got some other stuff here like turning off the safe headset volume. You've also got the volume panel style. You can see right now mine's expanded. If I show you that, you can see that's the expanded menu. You don't have to have it like that. You can have it single or expandable. If you have it expandable, it gives you a little settings button to actually tap to expand it, so that's kind of nice. Underneath that, you've got the power connectivity alert. By default this is off, but I turned it on just to test it. And if you enable it, it will alert you when power is connected or disconnected. And you can see you can also enable vibrate, and you can change your notification sound as well if you want something different. So pretty cool right there. Okay, so I'm just going to skip a few of these now because my video is getting a little bit long and they're pretty obvious what they do. Power menu, you get all your normal customizations. Wi-Fi, you can actually change the region code and prioritize your Wi-Fi connections. I'm not really sure what the region code thing is for, but nonetheless it's there. Miscellaneous, you can mess around with your LCD density. You can also have the dual panel mode that everyone loves in the settings. You've got a custom carrier label, low battery warning, and a recent RAM bar as well. So that's that general section out of the way. Moving on to status bar notification drawer. Now the first thing you'll see is this big Halo settings. And on this ROM, there's actually quite a lot of different Halo settings. You can see there's a little section that takes you straight into the Halo app, which allows you to pin stuff to Halo. That app does actually come inbuilt into the ROM, so that's kind of nice. If you press Halo style, you can actually change the bubble. So you can have, for example, a purple bubble. And if I let it restart the launcher and turn on Halo, you can see the bubble is now purple. So that's kind of cool. You get to customize the color of Halo. That's something I'd love to see in other ROMs. You've got your black and white listing as well there. Hide Halo after inactivity, reverse gestures, and pause active app as well. So that's the pretty standard stuff, but nice to see all those customizations there. In terms of the status bar, you've got all the normal tweaks you get in other custom ROMs. For example, mess around with the battery icons and signal icons. What I really wanted to show you is down here in the general, which says auto hide status bar. It hides the status bar when there are no notifications. So if we tick this, there's no notifications, so the status bar disappears. If we just make a notification quickly by taking a screenshot, the status bar reappears and it will stay there until that notification is dismissed. So we'll just dismiss it right now and it's disappeared. So you get a really cool full screen effect. You've also got the option down here called quick peek, which allows you to peek at the status bar to cool it down when you want it. So we'll tick that and we can just drag it down. You can see the status bar appears, you can use it, and then you can get rid of it and it disappears again. So you can have a full screen effect, but you still don't lose your functionality of your status bar when you want it. So that is a pretty damn awesome feature. I really want to see that in a lot of other custom ROMs as well. So you can just see the level of customization on this ROM, so much so that I can't go through it all, but you've got the notification drawer options, you've got breathing SMS options, lock screen options, navigation bar options. I do want to dive into Pi control to show you Pi because it's pretty awesome on here. You do have a fully customizable Pi, it's more like LMT launcher on here. If you go into Pi control, you can disable it only on expanded desktop mode, which I have, or show always. So if I enable it now, you can see that Pi will automatically be enabled. Now what I really like about this version is it's fully customizable. You can change all the colors, make it as transparent as you want, but you can also add a second layer of buttons. This is how it normally looks, but you can see right here you can enable a second layer, and once you do that you can customize and add different buttons, and you can have different apps on those buttons. So these are the options that I chose, and you can see them right there. I've got the browser, the camera, the gallery, and WhatsApp. So you can customize those however you want, and it's just a quick shortcut to those apps. So it works really well, and you can change the button quantity as well if you want more buttons or less buttons. And of course you can change the size as well if you don't want it to be quite that big. So really a lot of options even in Pi. So yeah, there you have it guys. That's my review for the Illusion ROM. Now this is still in beta and there's just an absolute ton of customization here already. They are even planning more, so it's going to be even more action packed. So if you like customization in a ROM, definitely give this one a shot on your Nexus 4. Peace out.